Brilliant. Thanks so much and well done again to everyone. What an incredible level of talent. We actually have one more award, and this is a very, very big one, and I'm very excited to be here. First of all, we're going to get Alan from Jam Media to present the Murakami Award, which is in honor of Jimmy Murakami. And we're delighted to have Etna Murakami here. So it's a very big honour. And I feel the award is designed by Brian DeStack. Now, you know it's a good award when you know who designed it, right? So I'll leave it to Alan now to take it from here. And thanks very much. Thank you. Hi, Elsa. How are you?
Hasn't Alison been amazing tonight? Thanks, Alison. It's my great pleasure and privilege to announce the very deserving recipients of this year's Murakami Award. The Murakami Award recognises and celebrates excellence and remarkable achievement in animation. And the award is named after the late, great Jimmy T. Murakami, who received the award back in 2013, right here in Dingle. And we're very honoured and delighted to have Etna, Jimmy's lovely wife, here with us today to present the award to the recipient. Thanks very much, Etna. It's really special to have you here tonight, and thanks very much for making the journey down. This year's recipients, I know them for many, many years, actually. I know, I'll tell you who they are, you know who they are anyway. It's Cathal Gaffney and Dara O'Connell from Brown Bag Films. And as I said, I know them for many years now, and they actually it was the first real job that I got in animation. I had a job, actually I shouldn't say that because I went to Disney for 6 months, but that doesn't really count. But then when I came back to Ireland, because I was real homeboard, I got homesick really quickly, so I came back to Ireland and I was lucky enough to land a job with the lads, and I spent 7 really happy years there, working on all sorts of things, commercials, TV shows, and cutting-edge CD-ROMs. It was a fantastic experience. I loved every minute of it, and the guys are just brilliant to know, and I consider them really great friends of mine. So I spent 7 years there, and then since I left, they went from strength to strength, which is kind of annoying. But in all joking aside, Cathal and Doc founded Brown Bag back in 1994, and they began working on a short TV series called Peg. And a lot of people in the room will know Peg Sayers. She was a very famous storyteller from not far from here. Actually, she spent a good few years here in Dingle, actually. So it's kind of nice full circle kind of story. They started off with only a handful of people, and now they're a truly international company with groundbreaking animation and amazing talent. Like they've got, I lost count of how many people have you got now? 300 and something, is it? And they've got numerous awards. They work on the biggest shows in the world. All the great iconic shows that of recent years. A lot of them have come out of Brown Bag. Doc McStuffins, Octonauts, Peter Rabbit, and Vampirina, just to name a few. But they've so many awards. I think they use Emmys as doorstops in the place, and they have 2 Oscar nominations to their name as well. So I suppose they really truly blazed the trail in animation, and they put Irish animation, firmly on the map, and they're still as enthused and impassioned about what they do now as they were when I was with them. It's a great honour for me to be here and to be able to have some part in handing the award over. Obviously, it's it's more special coming from Etna. And I'd just like to welcome the guys up to stage now and to collect their award.
Wow, thanks a lot. Seriously, this is a big deal. This means a huge amount to us. I mean, before we kind of get into anything, I just want to thank John, Alan, Mark, John, Chris, all the team in Jam Media for organising Dingle. It's quite unique. I mean, it's something special, and I just, before we even get into it, lads, where are you? Come on, give them a round of applause. Like, that's fucking a lot of us know about Jimmy. Some of us knew Jimmy, but I mean, judging by the room here, I just, you know, we knew Jimmy quite well. And I guess back when we started off, we were kicked out of animation college for making short films. And we started Brown Bag, and there was no real opportunities in animation back then, you know. So I'm just trying to paint a picture. We didn't know anything about business. We didn't know anybody in the industry. And we used to go to festivals like Annecy trying to get to know these contacts. And Jimmy was so generous with his time. He would introduce us to people with co-producers and broadcasters. And it was wonderful to know Jimmy in those days. So this award means an awful lot to us from that perspective alone, you know. Like when we started off, we couldn't get any work. So we said, let's set up a company to make short films. And looking at all the short films today, like, I mean, it's so impressive. I mean, there was nothing like this at all. 23 years ago, I mean, it was a tiny little fledgling industry. I mean, we're the oldest company in Ireland now. It's ridiculous. Like, you know, it's like we've the shortest CV in the world. Like, it's like one job, you know. We've never worked anywhere else. But
you worked in a video shop for a while.
But you know, back then as well, just to give another anecdote, like about Jimmy, like and his generosity of his time and his with us when we were starting off. I remember going up to Murakami Wolf in 1995 to learn how to do my first production schedule, and they had an Excel spreadsheet. I remember coming back to Doc really intimidated, saying like, "Oh my God, they have a computer up there." It was like. It was 2 years afterwards before we got the computer, and around about the same time we got the internet, like, you know. So they were very, very primitive times, you know. But I think the spirit of Jimmy does live on within the sector, because Jimmy brought around that whole, you know what I mean? He was just so generous with his time, and I think Irish animation, like, it's known around the world now, and I think what's known about Irish animation is the spirit of co-opetition. All the studios know one another. We're all very supportive of one another. There's that camaraderie. There's a lot of friendship. There's a lot of alcohol. And I think we realised that, like, in this tiny little island, together we're stronger. And I think that's what really is a big competitive advantage with Ireland Inc. internationally. And like, what a time to be a student. I mean, seriously, like, the best TV animation in the world is probably being produced in Ireland right now. I mean, you can come out of college, you can work in the best studios, on the most amazing international projects, world-class talent around you. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, like, there's the younger version of Cathal and Dara are deeply envious of you guys now starting off. It's, you have a lot less of a hill to climb, you know. Anyhow, look, what can I say? We're hugely honoured. You know, this is a very proud moment for us. Thanks very much, and it's nice to see the legacy, that kind of whole thing going on. So thanks a lot, guys.
So Cathal was saying all the inspirational stuff. I left me with all the thank yous. So So look, I have to thank all our family and friends. I especially have to thank our mammies. They went signature on a $2,000 loan 23 years ago. And we actually did manage to pay them back a few years ago as well. So they were, without the mammies, we'd be nowhere. All the people patiently nudging us to get real jobs over the years as well. Thank you for keeping us going and just making sure we never gave up. And, we really want to thank our kids as well. Ross, Gina, Dexter, Roxy. They're so unimpressed with what we do. They keep us grounded every day, and it's fantastic. I want to thank our partners. Lena, my wife, is there. I love you, baby. Thank you. It's like this whole job, it's long hours. You're away from home a lot, and without the really strong support of family and people around you, it makes it even harder to do. I want to give a big shout out to the training bodies that are out there, the Screen Training Ireland's, the Animation Skill Nets. Like, all of you guys are just finishing college now, but the learning never ends. And even when you're working, the amount of training we get in this country is fantastic, and it helped us to be better. Enterprise Ireland are fantastic. They shipped Cahill off to Stanford for a couple of years. They made us better at what we do, and we owe them a big debt of gratitude. There's a lot of broadcasters and commissioners in the room. We want to say thank you to you guys for trusting us with your projects and very big suitcases of cash. It's a huge risk. I still remember the first show we did was for Nickelodeon. The first major show we did was a show called Olivia, and my God, we had no idea what we were doing. So it's just thank you very much for taking a shot at us. I want to thank all the amazing animators, artists, producers, all our colleagues and collaborators. Thanks for making us look good. Our staff, and throughout the years we've worked with everybody, and Al, you were saying it earlier, you were there. I mean, we've just been so lucky to work with so many amazing people, and in Brown Bag we have a lot of people that have been with us for over 10 years, and all you guys are just fantastic. And I want to give a big shout out to Steve Woods. He's there in the audience. Steve, I want to thank Steve Woods and his brown bag, because that's what we named the company after. It got really old and knackered, and eventually Steve had to buy a new one, but the old one is actually sticking up. It's in your office, actually. It's still there. So look, thanks a million for tonight. It's been a fantastic festival, and I just want to say, everyone who encouraged us and inspired us over the years, thanks a million.
Sorry, I have a long list of people who pissed us off over the last 23 years. I was going to go through it in alphabetical order. No, I guess the other thing is, like, myself and Dara, like, we're like the Mr. and Mrs. of Irish animation. Like, we're stuck to each other's hip for the last 23 years, and we probably never get a chance to thank each other, So I guess to thank Doc, but also, I also wanted to thank Doc for not dying of swine flu last year, by the way. Sorry, there's a few of us who understand that.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Anyhow, thanks very much.